I think a trade's still potentially on the table for Gilmore.
I would imagine so. I mean, there's got to be a team out there that's going to reassess here and go, we can really use something at that position to help out. He's a really good football player. And, yeah, I would imagine, I think if you made me bet, Mike, that's kind of where I would go to. I don't see New England, I guess, really seeing him, extending him in any, extravagant way to make him, towards the top of the league corner as far as pay is concerned again. I'm going to bet that you're right. I'm going to say there's a trade that goes down sometime between now and midway through training camp, and Stephon Gilmore's no longer with the Patriots.
So where would he go? That's really the question. And let's set aside the Jalen Ramsey Madden franchise mode. He wants every big-name player who's available to come to a team that has already collected so many big-name players. They don't have any money left or draft picks to go out and do those deals. So other than the Rams, where would you be watching a team to maybe spring up to try to get Stephon Gilmore?
First one I would think of is the Raiders. Having all those young corners they have, defensive issues, those type of things. They could use somebody like that with a little veteran leadership, teach some of these young guys, see where there goes. That defense has been a struggle there. I did think originally of the Tennessee Titans, but they got the draft pick, Janoris Jenkins, everything like that. So I think that's one that's kind of off the table there. I don't know if the Houston Texans will be involved in that, but Nick Caserio knows what kind of player Stephon Gilmore is, but I can't imagine them wanting to spend money like that, when it comes down to a team that's rebuilding. So then you get into the contending teams and everything like that there. New Orleans, we know there might be a need for corner there, but can they pay him? So I really don't know. There's no team that is just glaring to me as I sit here and go, they're desperate. They could really use the man-to-man corner right now, right this moment. Because I don't think you're a team that's in rebuild mode that's going to want a guy like Stephon Gilmore who's kind of towards the end of his career, yet we're going to pay him big money. And that's where it's interesting. Indianapolis Colts, would they think about it? I don't know. I mean, to me, they could use another corner in the mix too. That's been an issue with their football team, in my opinion. But that's some of the ones that at least jump out to me, Mike.
Older player who clearly wants to be paid now.
Right.
The Titans are going to get away, apparently, with 1 year of Julio Jones without having to cut him a gigantic check.
Yeah.
I think that they're not going to have to pay him now. You get Stephon Gilmore, you got to pay him on his way through the door.
Right.
Because he doesn't want to trade just to say I'm playing for a different team and still making $7 million. He wants to trade because he's playing for a team that's going to give him the contract that he thinks he deserves. And remember, he got a market value deal. When he became a free agent, we're like, oh, is he going to the Bears? Where's he going? All of a sudden, the Patriots swoop in and sign him. We're like, holy crap, they never do that. But this is the back end of that deal. The market has changed, and he wants something that reflects where the market currently is. He's 30 years old. He'll be 31 on September 19. That's where it becomes
That's where it starts to go. Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to pay the guy a bunch of money for the years where he starts to descend.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, it's at the point of the career where I think if you're a GM or a coach, you want a 2 or a 3 year deal, and then you reassess. I think that's the way to go. I mean, would the Cowboys get involved in that conversation? I don't know. I mean, they certainly could use it. But, again, they play that Seattle scheme where it's not always man-to-man is such a big thing. Seattle the same way. I could go, hey, they need a corner. There's no doubt about it. But I don't know if they really value corners that way because of, the amount of zone they play. And that's where it just, would the Bills get involved in another conversation with Stephon Gilmore and thinking about bringing him back? I don't know. I really don't. It's going to be interesting to watch because, yeah, it's a guy that's kind of towards the end of his prime but still real good and certainly underpaid for where he is right now. And I just don't see New England budging on this one to pay him big-time money.
Be fascinating to see him go back to the Bills, the team that made him a first-round pick in 2012, where he played for 5 years before going to New England.
Yeah.
And I would like to think that Belichick would not want to trade him in the division or in the conference if he still thinks he can play at a high level.
Right.
But if you think you're fleecing someone for a guy that you've seen signs that it's starting to slip, then then maybe you do it.
Yeah,
maybe you
right.
trade him to the Dolphins. maybe not that the Dolphins need
They don't need it
they
either.
don't. They got Xavier Howard and Byron Jones.
And and
but
that would be first-round corner. Yeah.
There aren't a lot of spots out there
right.
where there are guys who have been in the New England hive who know what Gilmore can do and could then become trade partners. There really aren't. If Matt Patricia was still in Detroit,
I know.
that would make sense.
Exactly.
But he's back in the building.
Right. You're right. And the New England tree, for the most part, the Tennessee, the Miami, they got corners because that's what they believe in. So they went out and got them, and they made sure they got it because that's how Bill taught their team. I mean, Houston, again, is the team that would be in that cocoon that we would know about that might have some knowledge about it. But, with their current status and like we talked about, I just don't imagine them like trading away assets and then paying big money to a guy where it's like, where our team's not even close to being anywhere near competitive for like another year or two. So that's where I don't see that happening. I mean, I really didn't sit here and think about or come prepared, as you could tell, for teams that might be interested totally here. And it's hard to find one that just really pops to you to where you go, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe it is a Dallas Cowboys type of move, the more I sit here and think about it, to where they just
Let me throw one out.
Yeah,
Let me throw one out that I just thought of. A team that has been sneaky chasing big-name players who are on the wrong side of 30
Arizona,
this year, whether it's J.J. Watt or A.J. Green.
Yeah.
Stephon Gilmore to the Cardinals. They lost Patrick Peterson in free agency.
I like that one.
That would make sense.
That makes a lot of sense. I agree with you. You're onto something there. That could make sense. And they're right there. They're kind of ready. Like, this is the kind of thing that maybe gets you over the hump now to where you go, well, no, they're a legit playoff team. They were kind of teetering on the edge. We don't really know. But now you get a guy like that. Yeah, that could be a difference-making move for that football team, and one that, for where they at in their franchise, it makes sense. Like, that's one that makes sense for them at this current point in time.
I just had a vision.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray with his A's hat on, baseball glove. You know how you like to just throw the ball into the glove, walking into Steve Keim's office. Hey, Steve. What do you think about Stephon Gilmore, Steve?
You're such a
Steve,
jerk.
He's available, Steve.
Yeah.
We're trying to get a winning team here, Steve. You like my A's hat? You like my A's hat, Steve?
Power play him with baseball gear? That's what you're going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can see that, yes.
Just walking around, throwing the ball into the glove. I never understood why people did that, but when I was a kid, I did that too. I guess if you don't have anybody to have a catch with, you just throw the ball into the glove. It's either that or carry the glove
it feels
around
good.
with the ball inside.
There he goes. He's stirring the pot, baby. Here we go.
What is that?
You want to trade or we're going to play baseball?
What's in that pot? Is that some sort of jambalaya?
I don't know. It looks like it might be beef stew or something like that. Either way, I'm not eating it. If you're cooking it, I ain't eating it. That's what I know.
Oh, thanks.
Right.
Well, yeah, for you, Chef specially made it for you. So absolutely.
Good.
For anybody else would be fine. Cam, yeah, it depends. Yeah, so there would be certain circumstances where you would eat it no matter whether or not I cooked it, usually on a Thursday night at about 10:30 p.m.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.